I mean, I can't say this stuff at work, can I? Welcome back to Ratchet is tightening my rusty nuts again. Make sure you loosen them nicely before I finish with a clank. That's a jizz-based Ratchet and Clank joke.
I've never heard the, the process of arriving at the door called as clanking before. Oh, I've clanked. Maybe in some sort of robot world, but like
I
so.
bet there are video game couples out there who say, I've just clanked.
Would you mean you? Oh, right. So you don't mean couples in video games. You mean couples that both play video games and they use video game innuendo and they say I've just clanked.
Yeah, I've just clanked all on the carpet.
I really don't think there is. If there, surely there's got to be some other innuendo that's better. I know I've coopered all. I think I'm stuck because obviously you went for like a PS2 platformer, so I went
Mm.
for Sly Cooper there, but I feel like I went even worse than Clanked.
Clanked is a great word because it's strong and it's filled with somewhat disappointment.
And is that what your clanking's normally filled with? Disappointment?
Yeah, just regular clank in the flannel.
Oh, look at all these flannels. Look at all the towels in this house. They're like rock. He's just clanking everywhere. He's just. I'm gonna take his
And
ratchet
when
off him.
the CIA come in, we haven't found a single drop of clank.
I feel like if there was ever some horrendous crime at your house, the amount that you talk about jism, do you know when they come in with the UV light to like check, you would get away with it because there wouldn't be a spot not covered in jizz. They wouldn't notice.
They
It would
wouldn't.
just all be like just pure clank everywhere.
My own brand of Dulux White. Right, here we go. Let's get off this disgusting topic.
You start these disgusting topics. Don't blame me. Do not blame me.
What the hell are we talking about? So we are talking about our own nostalgia and how we get things wrong in our youth. Interestingly, the brain has not fully developed until you're about 26, from what I remember in psychology A level, where I kind of failed. But we have strong memories of games that we used to love, but maybe when we revisit them nowadays, they're a bit shit.
Mhm.
And because we're wiser, we're older, we might be a bit taller.
Do you know? Can I just say this though? Um, what I hate, what I hate is those people who don't realize the nostalgia and still will die on a hill that the game is great. Like
What,
we've
like
talked,
people who
got
like
a golden eye.
GoldenEye?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. But I have admitted that the controls and stuff and go back to golden eye. I'm just saying it was a great game. You just get it over. You've heard me talk about how Sonic can be crap and stuff. I hate people. To be fair, not just nostalgia. People who like a franchise and it can't do any wrong. Like
Mm,
I don't see that myopic view of the world. Like just open your eyes. Like
yeah.
even like now, it's hard to go back to the original Metal Gear Solid. It is hard to go back to the original Metal Gear
Oh,
Solid. I
really?
think. Like
I
when you,
think,
I've always thought trying to choke someone from behind. I'd always find that clanking, and I'd end up like doing the hip toss because you're
yeah.
slightly pressed forward as you're doing it, and like you don't have those sort of things in now. I tell you something I'm going to mention next episode, but what sort of harkens back to it. At the minute, I'm playing on Crimson Desert, which is
Oh, the
just
new one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just released. Um, and this is more of a they've got so many controls that like lots of things put on the same button that shouldn't be because you have to like hold it or tap it like to do
Mm,
different things. And that reminds me of like older games where the controls just weren't down and they weren't as good as they are now. And they have sort of come out of it. But there are so many people who will say, "Oh no, it's really good." If you don't like it, you just don't understand games and stuff. And to
yeah.
all those, just turn off, stop listening. I doubt people like that will probably listen to us anyway.
I think you can still like enjoy a game because I still think Metal Gear Solid holds up, but I think the controls are shit. And I
Oh
think
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
think all of Metal Gear Solid controls are shit, to be quite honest. The whole like going into crouch and then going into the lay position and trying to get
Dawn.
yourself out of it. Yeah. Um, but I agree. I think you do need to, if you can detach yourself and admit where the limitations are, but still say you enjoy it as a good game. Like Ocarina of Time, we were saying, I think some of that has aged terribly, but it's still a wonderful game and you can still get
Yeah.
a lot from it. I went for more kind of obviously terrible ones.
But this
Simpsons.
is that goes to mention it, right? Because um people will have died on the hill that Ocarina of Time is still a great game. But even when they brought it out for the 3DS, they made changes to make the
Yeah.
game better. So if the developers know, like, sort of, like that they're gonna make it better, that there's problems. Why? Well, anyway, I just get angry at people. Anyway, talk about your Simpsons game, whatever. Can I guess which one?
Yeah, go on.
Well, there's two. Is it a PS1 era or PS2 era?
One.
Okay. Does it happen within a ring?
It does.
Go on then. Put everyone out of the misery. I think they all know.
Yeah, Simpsons Wrestling. I used to think it was such a good game back in the day. And I think the only reason why I thought it was good is because the game is so unbalanced that I used to play as Ned Flanders. And if you're Ned Flanders, you're going to win every single time
So
because he's got.
you enjoyed it because you would just, it was broken and you could beat it all the time.
Yeah, like Ned has got a move where he prays to God and lightning strikes down on the opposite player.
That's
And
cool.
Heavenly Father's compelled you, and like literally, it's just a KO move, but you just keep doing it, you're gonna win. But going back to it, my God, not even the wrestling side of things. Like the menu is fucking shocking. It's in like Comic Sans or something like that, and just so horrifically badly controlled, unbalanced. There isn't even like a proper story or anything. It's just so basic and dumb. And yeah, I can't believe I held that game in high regard.
I
But
mean, I never played it back in the day, but I have got it now in the collection, and I played it for like I think a minute, 2 minutes, maybe to get some footage of it, and it was the worst thing
yeah,
I've ever played. And this is not a game that I've got on my list, but the reason I asked for PS1 for PS2 because The Simpsons skateboarding was going to be my next choice, which is a terrible game, but I don't know how anyone could like that game.
that was our first episode, mate. Do you remember?
Was that a first
It
episode
was one of the first ones where we were talking about shit,
of
get rid of whatever.
remaking them? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we both agreed that Simpsons skateboarding was a huge cum fire.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, a similar one. And this for me, I think, was more back when we were younger and we'd have the jump between consoles. And the jump between consoles was huge. You know, like the next PS6 will come out, I'll go, it just looks the same. And like Rockstar will tell us, but each individual eyelash is now rendered and moves independently. Yeah, but I can't see that. And I'm at the point now, do you feel like this, Boxy, as we're getting older, we're becoming more I was going to say decrepit, more aged. Like our
Mm.
eyesight's going to start to falter and things like that. We're not going to now ever see a jump in consoles because I feel like fidelity is when so far past my eyes can't improve with it. So
Okay.
fidelity will get better, and a 21-year-old might go, "That game looks so much better," and I'll just go, "Looks the same to me," and
Mm.
and that is mortality biting our asses.
That's a very bleak way of looking at things, but yeah, I guess.
Anyway, what I was talking about was it was from the 16-bit era to the 32-bit era. So it was going from the Mega Drive for myself up until the N64. And back in those days, it was the
62, 64-bit.
oh, that's why it's called the N64, isn't it? Okay, so he didn't even know what an expansion pack was. He looked at it all smarmy there. People can see his smarmy look on there,
Oh,
right?
what a
Anyway,
wonderful debate.
shut
No,
up,
no, no,
shut
no.
up,
What a
shut up, shut
wonderful
up.
debating tactic.
Anyway. So, um, it wasn't debate. It was getting angered at your smarmy smile that I said 32 instead of 64, prick.
Yeah, but you just go around like bringing something up that we spoke about fucking weeks ago.
Because you go on like, oh, it's 64, but and you played Perfect Dark and didn't realize you weren't playing the game because you didn't have an expansion pack. So who's
Well,
the dick? Or
well, you smell funny. Carry on with your point.
I am rubber, you are glue. So we jumped up during the era. It was the Attitude Era of wrestling, and I was into wrestling. And back then, you'd had like games like Raw and stuff on the Mega Drive, which were obviously pixels and stuff like that. And then you jumped up into 3D, and there's a game called WWF Warzone, and WWF Attitude is one that came out afterwards, and it was full 3D. The had doesn't come down, and it was to me played so much of it because it was like, Christ, it's like it's the telly, and it is honest. The two games are honestly two of the worst controlling, looking. Even the way they do when I said they had entrances, like it's practically silent sometimes, and they come out and they're in this position where their arms are sort of split at the side. They can't do the fingers yet, so they've just got their palms together like they're from wheels because they're webbed, and they sort of walk like this everywhere, just like they don't walk, move like any human should. And I put so much time into it because, like, for me at the time, it was amazing, really
Mm.
good.
I
And
haven't played those.
you not played them. Well, you're not a wrestling fan, are you?
I played No Mercy. That was on
No,
the
No Mercy was a great game. No
yeah.
Mercy is the game I thought Warzone was when it first came out because we'd had no real 3D wrestling games.
Mm.
Yeah.
I had a couple more. I thought Bug's Life on PS1 was awesome back in the day. But going back to it now, you know what? Is if you look at Bug's Life on Wikipedia, the scores range from like 2 out of 10 to like 9 out of 10. It's a really polarizing game. But I thought it was
Is
great.
is it your standard movie tie-in collectathon like Banjo Kazooie type Mario
Yeah, pretty much.
64 type game?
I
Okay.
mean, it follows the film pretty well, but it's fairly harmless. But like going back to it now, it's PS1 kind of jank.
Yeah.
And the other one, which I used to love when I was a kid, Pinocchio on Super Nintendo, which was like, I guess, my
Pinocchio.
first Disney tie-in game because Aladdin was the one which was getting all the love, but
Yeah.
no one gave much love to Pinocchio, and it literally follows the film beat for beat. And you get to ride on the raft at the end and get away from the whale, and there's all these like really cool set pieces. But going back to it now, my God, like what was I on?
Oh,
What
see, I said there was one Mega Drive game I had in my thing, which was James Pond 2
yeah, I
Operation
remember.
Robocod. And I loved that as a kid and played it so much. And I go back to it now and it's like, there's this cool mechanic. It's basically a platformer, and it's Operation Save Santa. It's one. I'd probably say my favorite Christmas game because I don't think I have any other Christmas games there. And it's nostalgia. But the mechanic was the character when you pressed a button, his body would just extend up infinitely, and when he got to the
Mm,
top, he would like hang on to whatever that was at the top. And it's a really cool concept. But when you go back and play it, it's not really took advantage of, and lots of the
yeah.
time you're just going up and then you just hit the roof and then you're at the wrong place, or there's loads of flying enemies, and if they hit you, you go all the way back down to the start, and you got to start again, and some of them are sort of massive. So I went back to that and I did do it because I thought like Mega Drive, there's loads of games I could mention because there's you just love them. They were the first time you were gaming and things like that, but they obviously hadn't found it. Um, but another two games I've got N64 as well, and there were there's a game that came out on PS2 as well called Operation Winback, and
Okay.
it it's basically like a House of the Dead version of Metal Gear Solid. So it's a spy operative sort of game, but it's really hammy, bad acted. Controls again. It's trying to find. I'm using the N64 control, but I loved it. To be fair, I do say it's crap now, but it's one of those games that I'd go back and I'd play because it was quite sort of fun.
Mm,
And then this last one, I don't know whether you agree with me. I think the original Kinect on the 360, uh, gets a lot of bad negative energy that it's crap and it can't pick anything up. I loved my Kinect when it first came out.
yeah.
Kinect Adventures, I played loads. The raft game where you were sort of moving on the raft and the dodgeball, and I honestly thought that like I was like we're living in the future, like you could pick us up and move. And I did have a game called like even at the time I had a game called Motion Sports for it, which was supposed to be like Wii Sports, but they were using the
Mm.
Kinect, and that wasn't made by Microsoft, and that was terrible. That was really bad. I always thought that was bad, but there was a fair few Kinect games I had a good time with, and I was like, what is it? But the thing I can't really put it on here for that where it's actually crap, actually shite, is because I've not went back to it to see was it really that bad. Because
I mean, the thing is, they haven't done a lot with motion sensor technology a lot since then, apart from like the VR stuff. But it probably plays exactly the same as you remember it.
I was
Because
just
I think iToy still plays fine.
yes, but people don't take steaming craps on the iToy. Like
No,
I don't think like when the iToy first came out, it was great. Obviously, it wasn't really motion. It wasn't picking up your movements. It was just looking for any movement on the screen, wasn't it? And I loved it. Like I have George Formby ringing in my head, cleaning windows to this day from Wishy Washy.
yeah, mate, love that, and the karate one, loved it. I have
Yeah.
one more, um,
Oh, okay.
and I liked this game because I felt like I shouldn't have been playing it, and it was South Park on the
Was that South Park on the N64?
N64. Yeah, what I just said. And there was a PS1 version as well.
Yes,
But
yes.
I had the N64 version, and bear in mind, I was young. I was like 7 or 8 or something when this game
My
came out.
friends had it as well, and like when you're mentioning now, I have fond memories. There was one weapon I used to love in multiplayer, which um made them sing a song. When I get that feeling, I gotta sing. When I get that feeling.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's from the actual show. I think there's a skit
Yeah.
within the show.
Well, the game is so basic. It's like a first person shooter because you're just throwing snowballs at
Yeah,
literally enemies for like hours and hours and hours. But the one thing which all my school friends were saying, like, the game's amazing because you can pee on the snowballs.
yeah. Didn't most weapons have like an alternative mode?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
snowball's alternative weapon was it turned yellow because you pissed on it. Like you
So
didn't see anything, but you just sort of disappeared and came back yellow.
yeah, and like I got it, and I thought, oh my God, I'm like naughty because I'm not really supposed to be playing this because it's South Park and you're not supposed to watch South Park.
Yeah.
But oh my God, going back to it now, like the
Oh,
draw distance is abysmal.
it's got Silent Hill levels of mist, hasn't it?
Oh, it's worse than that. But at least Silent Hill actually has like a town and things to determine where you are. This is literally just staring out into
Yes.
the abyss.
Yeah.
And the jokes are terrible. And it's literally just the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because although people give South Park Rally a load of shit, I don't think it's that bad. I actually have quite a soft spot for that game. But the South Park standard game was
See,
horrendous.
and when you see in there, I think that game sort of lives in our nostalgia because I've got another game that I know for a fact's terrible. I think I've got the PS1 version. I had an N64. South Park also brought a game out called Chef's Love Shack, which
Oh
was a
God, yeah.
quiz game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember, but it was at we were at that age where, and I think the South Park was as well, where it was like it was rude, it was crass,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you said shit, and you thought that was funny because we were that age, you know what I mean? We were like what 10, 11, 12, maybe
Yeah.
you a little bit younger when it first came out and stuff. Um, but then what's great about South Park is it's aged with its audience. So
Mm.
South Park now is great, like political satire and stuff like that. The South Park games, if you think about Stick of Truth and stuff like that, like, we
Much
loved
better.
them when they first came out. If South Park Stick of Truth came out when I was that age, I wouldn't have got half the jokes. You know what I mean? They'd have went
No.
over my head, and I think that's cool.
The Chef's Love Shack one. I remember when, because my friend had it on Dreamcast, and we all like got around and were like, oh my God, it's South Park, we're gonna love it. And literally, it's a quiz game where you have to have outstanding knowledge of the show. Like
Yes, yeah.
literally every single episode, you have to have full knowledge of it. And we were just like, I don't know. Like get to watch the episodes because it's past
Yeah.
our bedtime.
You just have to you just have to play enough till you learn what the answers were when
Pretty
it comes out.
much.
Yeah, and there
Oh,
wasn't it was like daft little mini games between the quiz actions, like the quiz questions, wasn't there?
yeah, God, it
Uh,
was bad. Right, any more? You good?
no, I haven't. I haven't. But if you want to let us know what your games that were you loved as a kid but were terrible, please let us know on the our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube, comments on Spotify. 30 something gamers, 30 something gamers everywhere. Let us know, and we can laugh at your nostalgia the same way you've laughed at ours.
Hey. Well, that was jolly good, wasn't it? So that was Ratchet is tightening my rusty nuts again. Oh, oh, oh no. Retro.
Or
I've clanked myself.
does that mean when you go to sleep as a teenager, you might have a wet clank? No, or
I
no, would it be a clank dream or a wet
When you're
clank?
lying in bed next to your loved one tonight, loyal listeners, just whisper in their ear, fancy a clank.
That works better.
Goodbye.